kicking around. Saccharin killed us too. Remember that? Followed by bacon, sodium nitrite. I remember that joke, the comedian joke. I went to get my annual checkup. Doctor told me to eat more bacon. Said I wasn't getting enough sodium nitrite. And I think weren't cranberries also going to kill us at one point? I think they were. 844.
If bacon was going to kill anyone, Howie, you would have succumbed to that. I think cranberries probably not.
No, cranberries are okay, but I can take them or leave them. I like going over the cranberry bogs when I'm on Southwest Airlines, though, Grace, on my way down to Nantucket for the day.
How cool. You know what I'm making for the office tomorrow?
What's that? Cranberry muffins?
Peanut butter cookies.
Oh, that's okay. I'm good. I know. Sometimes I say I'm sorry I'm not there to enjoy a big spread from the 110 Grill or Aviva Trattoria or the Kowloon, but I'm not going to miss the peanut butter cookies too much.
Yeah, now I know.
Oh, red dye number 5. That was another one. Yes, exactly. And
these are before my time. I don't even remember any of these. I remember net neutrality because that was during the Trump administration.
And someone mentioned homicide hornets. That was just last year. Whatever happened to homicide hornets, Grace? Did they get stopped at the border, unlike the illegal aliens from Honduras with single moms who test positive and they just get given a bus ticket to go to North Carolina or Maryland or somewhere?
I don't remember. I remember a small story on that for a little while, but the news media is just obsessed with all of these things. Like every day you log on and there's a new strain, there's a new this, there's a new that, and they just need to give it a rest.
But it's because they want to keep it alive. I mean, if COVID goes away, a lot of these reporters are going to actually have to go out and do something. They're going to have to report on real news. They go to these press conferences that Charlie Parker has, and then they report these phony baloney numbers from the Department of Public Health, one of the most scandal-scarred, corrupt agencies in Massachusetts. And they report them just totally gullibly.
Howie, I don't think you could come up with one example to show that our public health system in Massachusetts is flawed.
Sonia Farrak. Annie Ducan.
Could you come up with 2? Okay.
The New England compounding pharmacy in Framingham. How about all the fake breathalyzer? What is it? 29,000 fake breathalyzer tests because they didn't bother to check the equipment. By
the way, Howie, there's a Netflix documentary. It's called How to Fix a Drug Lab Scandal, and it's all about Farrak and Ducan. Very good if anyone's looking for something to watch besides Charlie Baker's press conferences.
Cyclamates. Yeah, I think cyclamates have something to do with saccharin, though, don't they? This could be my Friday column, Grace. The mutants come in a fine line of journalistic hysteria, going back to the population bomb.
Yeah, but what do you think it is, Howie, about this that we allowed it to get this out of control, where they have
because it was being used to get rid of Donald Trump. But Trump's gone.
But I also think it's kind of the dumbing down of America because people don't understand their rights and they don't understand their freedoms. So they just hand them over really easily. Because if you don't understand what your freedoms are and what the Constitution tells you you're allowed to do and not do, then you would just hand it over and say, okay, tell us what to do. We're sheeple.
Yeah, I know. It's really something that the internet puts the world at our fingertips, and the average American now is more ignorant than he was 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Very sad.
Howie, but this might restore your faith a little bit because there's a new poll out from Harvard University and Harris Insights. Did you see this, Howie?
No.
Some of the poll results will shock you because this is what the media is telling us. So you can only imagine what the polls are already skewed anyway, because people who feel a certain way don't want to reveal to the pollsters how they feel. So the fact that these came out, it's really amazing here. It says, with 55% disapproval, Biden's decision to reduce the deportation of those here illegally who have committed crimes such as DUIs and are not national security related. Biden's decision to kill the Keystone Pipeline from Canada, criticized for eliminating thousands of jobs, had 53% disapproval. So people are paying attention.
Good.
And they are kind of catching on to how bad this stuff is. 47% disapproved of Biden's ending construction of Trump's Mexico border wall. I know it sounds like only 47%, but you have to consider the fact that people aren't telling them the truth anyway.
Right. And also 90% of the 99% of the Biden coverage in the mainstream media is positive. And yet people are still figuring out that this is BS. I just got a text from someone, Grace, said, forget all those other earlier things that were going to kill me. You know what's killing me? The Biden economic policies. He says his retirement account is down $50,000 in the last 2 weeks.
I'm really
scared. Who could see that coming though, right?
I'm really scared that what's harming people the most, and it's not any of these strains, it's not any of this, it's just depression and suicides and people just falling into disrepair.
I heard that thing in what's going on in Cook County. I mean, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Clark County, they said that there were 18 suicides among school-age kids in the last year, which is, unprecedented. That's Nevada, that's Las Vegas. But they say Cook County, how many? 38 dead? 38 suicides.
We'll get you those cuts, Howie, so you can play them later on. That was a dad whose his child committed suicide. It's just it's wild that that people aren't understanding this. I mean, Howie, when you're a teenager, when you're in middle school or high school, you're already so anxious, and it's not like me being soft or saying, when you're a kid, you're easily, scared by things. You're easily depressed. Yeah. You're not your brain's not fully formed. And we're keeping all these kids stuck at home, no friends, no school, no outdoors. It's ridiculous. And then now they're telling all these little babies they have to wear masks on the plane. I don't know when people are going to say enough's enough.
The thing is, Grace, I've been thinking about the fact that all these people have been off for a year and they obviously don't want to come back to work. And again, we're going to talk about these federal workers, what they're giving them to stay away. And we always used to laugh at the State House that, would watch these reps and they'd come in and they would have had a real job. And like in 2 years or 4 years or 6 years, you'd look at them and you'd say, these people are unemployable. They've just gotten used to not doing anything, right? But I never thought about it as kids. But kids are in the same boat. When you take some kid that's like 10 or 12 years old or 15, and he doesn't have to do anything for a year, he's going to be in the same boat as a state rep.
Right, Howie. It's like the law of inertia. An object in motion stays in motion. It's a lot easier to keep people moving if you don't stop them from the start. But if you have someone, it's like working out. If you start working out, it makes it easier once you get a rhythm going. But if you don't do it for years and years, it's harder to get on the bike.
Right.
And we're taking everybody out of the game here and expecting them to bounce back. And that's just not how humans work. And you know what, Howie? I really think this. And someone wrote about this. It's harder. I saw something that said anxiety is habit forming. And it's harder to get people to break out of this the longer we stay in it because it's become like a religion now. It's become it's a habit for people to put the mask on and to stay home and to feel scared. And it's not enough just to say, oh, we're ending it soon or it's winding down. We have to break free of this and really make an effort to move on as a society.
Right. Well, I saw a cut from Charlie Parker today saying, well, I hope people just keep wearing the mask anyway. He's basically saying, well, maybe it's not any good for you, but it's good. Let's see. I'm just looking for the cut right here so you can hear it. Play cut 3, Jared. Cut 3 from Charlie Parker today.
But at the end of the day, this is still an incredibly contagious virus, and people need to take it seriously.
It's like, they told you that the Catholic Church, you were going to go to hell if you ate meat on Friday. And then the next Friday, it was okay to eat meat on Friday. But you should still not eat meat on Friday. It's just it's good discipline. And don't eat meat on Friday during Lent for sure. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, they're changing they're changing the rules. It's not going to be a mortal sin anymore. But Charlie Parker, he's the Pope. He doesn't want you to stop wearing the mask.
And it's a little bit, Howie, of an identity crisis for them.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's become their entire... I remember there was a skit, not that I ever really watched Saturday Night Live, but before Trump was But right before the election, they did this fake commercial that they do, like a PSA. And this woman said, well, if Trump doesn't win re-election, what am I going to do? My whole personality is hating Donald Trump. What am I going to care about my kids again? And I was laughing because it's really true, but I think they've kind of subbed in this COVID for Trump where, you know, their whole personality couldn't be hating Orange Man. So now their whole personality is, I wear a mask and I'm better than you and I care.
Let's play another cut from Charlie Parker here. It's cut 6.
I think the mask mandate has been an important element in both encouraging behavior, but also sending a message about the importance of recognizing and understanding that COVID is still very much with us.
I saw Howie today on Twitter. Some guy tweeted a picture of a mask and the Texas flag, and he said, "Come and take it from me." And this woman retweeted it and said, "That's the beautiful thing. No one is trying to take it from you. You can wear that mask for the rest of your life."
Right.
It's like, just because the rest of us have an option doesn't mean you have to stop wearing yours.
I got to play with just one more cut, Grace. This is like some guy, you know, an old line tent preacher saying, you don't let down your God. Satan out there. Lucifer coming for you. If you let down your God, if you don't come to church on Wednesday night for Bible study and Sunday morning, you're going to be bad off. Charlie, this is Reverend Charlie. This is Brother Charlie. Cut 4.
So, I mean, I certainly hope people don't put down their guard. I mean, some of the decisions that we made with respect to our guidance around here in Massachusetts was really simply going back to where we were.
That old-time religion. We're going back to that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Keep that mask on all the time, or you'll go straight to hell.
Now it's turning into a song.
Do you see it though, Grace? I mean, you never were exposed to those ministers like those radio preachers like I used to be driving around.
What would they say? Put your hand on the radio.
Yeah, put your hand on the radio. You know, we're gonna put him when Jesus comes back. He's gonna come back to the Mount of Olives. So, Brother Shambaugh going to be taking a jar full of requests. We're going to bury him on the Mount of Olives. That's. I'm telling you. You think I'm kidding, Grace? They did that.
I honestly, how I think you would have been good at it, Charlie, based off of your energy.
But I'm just saying, Charlie Parr. This is a variation on those old preachers. They're trying to scare the bleep out of their ignorant congregations. Only in this case, it's not, it's not sharecroppers. It's people who read the Boston Globe or who watch local TV news.
And Howie, this is the last comparison I'll make, and then I'm gonna head out. But I do have to say, you know, those people who they either get divorced or they have a bad relationship, and they spend the rest of their life focused on that bad relationship, like they can't move on. It's really becoming like that. Like they need to figure out, what is life after this? Like what is your daily life going to look like when you're not refreshing your phone for the updates and you're not, cleaning and hanging up your masks? Like, what is the after? We're in it now. What's the after? There has to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Grace, you should look at the responses. Someone last night late put out a Dr. Seuss-like poem about not wearing a mask.
I saw that.
But it was great. It was a fantastic poem. Great work of art. But you should see the reaction from the people, from the cult of the mask. Grace, check it out. I mean, if you want to see, they can't move on. Their minds are gone.
And Howie, that's the thing. When this first happened, if someone would tweet that out and people would respond back and say, you're callous or you don't care, I would kind of wince a little bit and be like, oh, I hope I'm not, I'm not saying too much or whatever. But it's been a year. It's been a year. It's not even you don't care about old people dying anymore. It's just like, you are against my doctrine. You probably how dare you? It's just rage. Yeah, I agree. No facts, fact-free. No follow the science stuff. Just, you have to wear a mask. Charlie Parker says you have to wear a mask, so you have to wear a mask. That's all it is. All right. Thank you, Grace. Thanks, Howie. Put your hand on the radio. Get some relief from the COVID.
Eden Pure's famous BOGO offer is back for this week only. For the first time ever, they're offering the Gen 40 heater BOGO, buy one, get one, just to my listeners. That's right, it is buy one, get one free. Considering how cold it still is at night in Massachusetts, you're going to want to take advantage of this offer now. This offer is available for just this week only. It was going to be one day, but it went over so well yesterday that they've extended it for the week. Don't delay. This is an incredible savings. Gas and oil prices are skyrocketing. Robert from the Cape says, the Gen 40 heater performs like no other heater I've ever used. It is remarkable. The Eden Pure Gen 40 makes you feel warmer than your furnace, and it also costs less to run. You may be working from home now and have noticed the increase in your heating bills. The Eden Pure Gen 40 will pay for itself in a matter of weeks. But with this deal, more like days. That's only how long it's going to take to pay it off. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word HowieBOGO. That's EdenPure.com and use code word HowieBOGO. This is a 1 week only sale, so act today. When it's gone, it's gone. EdenPure.com, and don't forget code word HowieBOGO. I'm Howie Carr.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Radio Network.